Welcome to the Wrestling Universe podcast. My name is Cosk. I am joined by my good friend John, and today, we're going to talk about some Collision. Should we get right into it?
Yeah, sure.
So, this show is really bookended by the CM Punk stuff, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, very Punk heavy. Sure.
Yeah, it started with Punk and it ended with Punk, and Jesus Christ, this promo was insane, in my opinion. So Punk came out, a big pop, I'd say. Like there wasn't a lot of boos.
Not really.
It's Chicago.
It's a Chicago audience, so.
So it's the most interesting notes of this were he was essentially like heel Bret Hart in Canada, where he was being like a massive dick, but people were still cheering him. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no. My overall thoughts on the promo in general was it was definitely a polarizing promo. That if you're a fan of Punk, that you obviously like what he's saying. If you're a fan of the Elite, you might not like what he was saying. I think it goes towards an angle. I think definitely
I think so.
it'd be interesting.
I think there's either two options. Either Tony Khan has no idea what he's doing, respectfully, or they've sorted everything out and not sorted everything out, but at least realized business comes first and they are preparing a match somewhere down the line.
And then the other thing with the promo, the notable thing was even the red bag, which
Yeah.
was which probably has the AEW World Title, or at least the version he held. So that's setting up a future big title match with MJF title for a title.
Do you like that idea?
Um, kind of. I don't necessarily like the carrying around the other belt. I mean, you just do the rematch that way. But yeah, I think MJF versus CM Punk. I think the my issue with it probably is just the order of it, because you don't want to take away from the Tanahashi or the Adam Cole stuff happening on Dynamite.
That's
but
very true.
yeah, no, I think it'll be a big match, and I think it would be a great match. Probably if I had to guess, All Out or All In, whichever of the alls.
You know, I was like fairly confident that Adam Cole was going to dethrone Punk. Not confident, but I thought there was a chance. No, not Punk, sorry. MJF. I thought there was like a 50% chance, maybe 40% chance that Adam Cole wins, because I thought like who else, you know? But now that they're setting up the Punk program, there's no way they're gonna have Cole beat MJF and then move into a Punk program, because that program would have no heat.
Yeah, I know some people thought Adam Cole would win the world title, but I didn't think so. Mainly because, I mean, MJF's been saying 2024, 2024, and a lot of
That's
his
true.
promos forever. So I'm sure, at least I would think that he would hold the title till next year, and whatever angle they would have planned for that.
So this another interesting point of this promo was him taking very clear shots at the Elite. We've kind of like went down it before, but we didn't go to like the specifics, because like it wasn't just like kind of soft shots. He said counterfeit bucks, which young bucks. He said that the fans that hate him are the only people softer than the wrestlers. So that the wrestlers that they like. So I think it's a very thin line between kayfabe and shoot, very thin line, and I think if they manage to sort everything out, Punk versus the Elite is one of the biggest programs they've ever done, if the biggest program.
Yeah, no, that would be massive. I think it'll be interesting in the coming weeks in Collision, even just the crowd reaction. What are in cities like Toronto, or they have a bunch of Canada shows in a row, or Newark, are the people fully going to be behind Punk, or is the majority going to get booed? Is it going to be split? We'll have to see.
I think they're gonna boo him for the most part. In Canada, I think they're gonna boo him. That's Kenny Omega country.
Yeah.
Anywhere like
Well, I remember Newark last time. Well, that was when the Elite returned at the Full Gear pay per view, but they were chanting FCM Punk. So we'll
yeah,
see if the tune changes, or you never know, because it's Collision.
if they go to Chicago, it's gonna be a nightmare for Punk. No, not Chicago. Sorry,
Oh, that's
California. California.
oh yeah, because you got the Young Bucks. They got
That's
the
Young Buck
loop
City.
there.
So overall, I would say a very good promo. A very interesting promo. It had a lot of divisive opinions, but I liked it personally. I was gasping multiple times in that segment. It was insane.
I guess my final thoughts on the promos. I'd say it was interesting. I think over time we'll see how it ages. Because I think it could be seen as great promo. It depends on what leads to it in the future.
Very valid point. After this, speaking of controversial, we have Wardlow versus Luchasaurus. This, my first note of this match was I kind of noticed how Luchasaurus, he used to be like a very flashy wrestler, like a very exciting wrestler for his size. Now he's working the complete heel monster, the like heel monster style, which I don't know how to feel about, because he was like kind of unique, and now he's just like every other giant with a cool mask.
I don't know. Personally, I am into the heel Luchasaurus, at least with the matches, because I mean, he has put on some really good matches with the two he did with the Jungle Boy.
That's very true, and I really like the character. I've been marking out for Luchasaurus for a while on Twitter because I think he has the size, he has the style, he has the he has the size, he has the style, he has the presence, he has the
Yeah,
look. He's just like a perfect heel wrestler in my opinion. But I don't know, like for people who are like big fans of Luchasaurus, it might be a bit disappointing that like now the things you liked about Luchasaurus are gone. It's like Luchasaurus is like a completely different wrestler now. If people who disliked Luchasaurus before probably like him now, and people who like Luchasaurus now either still like him, dislike him, or like him a bit less. But but I mean, we can't really talk about this match without talking about the finish. I mean, that's
oh
for
yeah,
every match, but this match especially. I think you have to jump like straight into it because it would feel like we're beating a dead horse, going
yeah.
around the
Well, because
bush.
up to the finish, I was enjoying the match. I thought I would describe it as pretty good. But so basically, the finish was, I believe, wasn't it like a camera or something like
Yeah,
Christian Cage grabbed Christian Cage grabbed the camera, smashed it over Wardlow's head, and then Luchasaurus, of all things, he did like a clothesline from behind and got the pin. So, what do you think of the finish?
it was big for Luchasaurus, but I have to say, I mean, let's just like recap the past year of Wardlow's career. I mean, he had like this insane MJF program. He was getting cheered like crazy. He was one of the most over people in the company. MJF walks out, right? That takes away all of the momentum from the win because nobody gives a shit about Wardlow's win anymore. He goes into a feud with security people, which was
Yeah, like Tony Nese and Josh Woods. Which, no offense, I like Josh Woods in the pure division, but it was definitely a step down for Wardlow.
yeah, Nisa and Woods are good, but like they're not like big stars in AEW, Even if they have the potential to be like one day, like that's not the position they're in right now. So no disrespect to them. I mean, he's traded the title back and forth a million times, which I think has completely killed the prestige of the title.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I do not think he should win this again. I don't know what's next for
Yeah,
Wardlow.
hopefully not. Yeah.
What do you think
Uh,
is next for Wardlow?
Um. Well, obviously they got to try and find a way to revive his career. I think the ultimate goal is you probably would want to get him back with MJF. Doing a big world title feud. But I think you have to. I don't know where. I mean, you probably have like another match with Christian Cage on TV or whatever. But then I think the next program, I don't know who it will be, but I think it'll be pivotal for Wardlow to regain momentum.
I don't think they can put the toothpaste back in the tube. I don't think they can put him back with MJF. Like considering the amount of time they've built up to Wardlow leaving MJF, if they put him back, like that would feel like he's made no progression in his entire career there. Basically, I think they
Well,
have.
no, I wasn't saying put him back with MJF. I was saying like
Oh,
have like a
feud.
world title feud with him. Like
I
maybe coming back around because the last time they faced, Wardlow obviously obliterated MJF at Double or Nothing.
I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, with that, I think that's a very good program. I think he needs to get a few wins before, especially because when you're
Definitely.
building so much stuff for MJF, a CM Punk program, which is massive, a Adam Cole program, which I think is going really well with the audience. Like I've noticed positive reception for this. A Tanahashi
Yeah.
match, and like you put him with a Wardlow with no momentum right now. I think people would not like Wardlow because he's like kind of interfering in
Yeah.
that. So you need to give him like a few dominant wins, maybe like a mini storyline with like some upper mid card heel. Like just like kind of build him up for that level, and then I think you can do the program absolutely. I The only problem is if Wardlow loses that too.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Wardlow's a character which cannot lose a lot. Like the way he's like presented is like this like super strong bad like not bad guy but like super strong bad motherfucker. Like you cannot beat him. You cannot. It's like it's not like the Fiend, but it's like kind of in that similar category, I suppose. Where like the thing that like kind of ruined the Fiend was the fact that he lost. Also because the stuff he was doing was ridiculous, but like losses really hurts him. And I think Wardlow losses really hurt his momentum because he's someone who you've built up to be this unstoppable force for so long, and now he's this stoppable force.
Yeah, well, at one point, Wardlow, for CM Punk to beat Wardlow, he had to do wasn't it like a roll up at the end. Like
Yeah,
Wardlow brushed him, and then obviously CM Punk top of the card. So and now Wardlow is just losing to a camera smash and a clothesline to the back. It's definitely
yeah.
a
Like
different Wardlow for sure.
you look at the stuff like Darby Allen goes through, for example. Like you can like shoot Darby Allen, like just like get an AK out, like shoot him. He's gonna kick out it too. But getting hit by like a tiny camera is like enough to beat Wardlow.
And then I was shocked Luchasaurus didn't even hit his finisher. He just kind of like a weak clothesline from the back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for Luchasaurus. I think he has
Yeah,
a,
definitely.
he's not perfect, but like he's someone I'm excited for. He's someone who I think has an aura about him that not a lot of wrestlers have. I think he looks badass. I have to say though, change the name. If you're like this monster heel, you can't be going by Luchasaurus, in my opinion. Do you agree?
Um, yeah, at some point. I mean, I think I don't even know. I have my own questions on if it's even going to be Luchasaurus's TNT title run. Is it going to be Christian Cage's? I don't know how that will play out on TV.
That's true. That's true. Do you think they're gonna eventually break up during this run?
Um, I mean, I mean, I don't find that intriguing, but yeah, probably at some point.
Yeah, I think they should stick together because I think Christian Cage really helps Wardlow, no, Luchasaurus, like in his biggest weak point, which is you can't really
Yeah,
have a
yeah,
dinosaur cutting passionate promos, can you? You know? But so I don't think they should break up, but like it really feels like they're setting that up because of the way they're
yeah,
like
whatever.
presenting the story. Christian is like overshadowing him. Like not like overshadowing him in like a way where it's like unintentional. Like it's very clearly intentional. Like that's very clearly the point, and that usually builds up to face turns.
Yeah, no. If Luchasaurus goes babyface, there could be an interesting feud later in the year where you circle back and you have heel Jungle Boy going against Luchasaurus, babyface Luchasaurus. That would be a
You know,
reverse the roles a little bit.
I'd have to see it to judge it because it sounds like
Yeah.
it sounds like it could be both really bad and really good.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with like promos. I think heel Jungle Boy has a ton of potential. At least what I saw on Wednesday with Jungle Boy's smug attitude.
I think so too. Do you want to move on?
Yeah, sure.
Next up, we have. I'm gonna put both of these together. We have both Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks announcing themselves for the Owen. What did you think about this?
I don't have much thoughts. I mean, I think them being in the Owen Hart tournament is good. Obviously, I mean they got to make the Owen Hart tournament mean something other than you get the pink belt. But Starks, I think it will be good for his momentum as when back in November when he was in the Eliminator tournament and he gained some momentum beating Lance Archer, Brian Cage, and uh, Ethan Page. So I think the tournament wise, I think both of them will probably benefit from being on TV. And I guess my other thought really is I thought Hobbs did look like a star with the just presentation and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I this is really hard to judge now, but I think there's a very good chance that either of these men win. I think Stark's more likely than Hobbs.
I don't know. I would actually say the opposite. I would say Hobbs more likely than Starks.
I mean, I think AEW value Ricky Starks more right now, and
Yeah, I agree.
Ricky Starks is completely lost right now. I mean, I don't think that Jay White feuds did anything for him. Not because of
I
them.
mean, neither.
They're great talents, but like it felt like it didn't really have a point, and it was just like an introductionary feud for Jay White, which I don't think is what fans would expect from such a feud which I think could be main event caliber if you give them the time and everything.
Yeah, they should have probably give Jay White could have gave Jay White someone else and then go to the Ricky Starks feud and have it as they're both on, equal footing instead of, more of just introductory where, it kind of was not the best feud or not didn't live up to the heights that it could have reached.
Absolutely. I mean, the Owen, they didn't really announce like a lot of stuff for it yet. I believe it's next week, right? Or is it in 2 weeks time?
Oh, what, Full Gear? Oh, no,
No,
not Full Gear.
that's
Forbidden
yours.
Door. You
When's the
mean you
Owen?
mean Forbidden Door? Or you mean like the Owen tournament?
When's the Owen?
Um, I think it kicks off at Forbidden Door. I'm not sure. I know they're doing it during basically around Forbidden Door. I know they're doing it the whole Canada loop that they do in July.
That Canada loop is a horrible idea. I'm sorry. If you've seen the ticket
Yeah,
sales,
yeah. No, I think it's Canada in the summer. Yeah, from my understanding, like people go out to the lake. I don't know, and then some of these cities like another issue is Collision is not the TV issue with Collision. It might not even be on weekly in Canada with the TV deals. So they obviously they're sorting that out. But
plus I think one of the bigger points, which I don't see a lot of people talking about, it's Canada. Like when you think of the wrestlers from Canada, you think, Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, who are not going to be on Collision probably, because they both have beef with Punk, and I don't think it's been settled. At least they
yeah,
might.
or from my understanding, it's like if Punk's on Dynamite, maybe they can go to Collision, but still,
That
it's pretty much going to be the CM Punk show.
that's true, but like they're advertising CM Punk for those shows, so people are not going to buy tickets expecting Chris Jericho, even if he's going to be on the show, expecting Kenny Omega, even if he's going to be on the show, because they expect at this early stage to see CM Punk.
Yeah.
But that's a story for another day. Next up, we have, okay, after the Wardlow Luchasaurus match, I started to think, after like so long of waiting for Collision, and like that's the first match, I was getting a bit worried. All of that worry went away when I watched Andrade versus Buddy. This match was brilliant. What do you think about it?
Oh yeah, I thought it was a really good match. I mean, Andrade. I'm not the biggest fan of at least the current Andrade, but yeah, no, I thought they worked really hard. Uh, in terms of spots wise, the Andrade, what was it like a cartwheel moonsault off the apron was
That
tremendous,
was fantastic.
and the best part of the match was Andrade did the back elbow Judas effect, which honestly looked like he knocked Murphy out or no Buddy Matthews out. That was just tremendous.
He's gonna get heat with Jericho after that one.
Well, at least now they got the collision where Jericho could do the Judas effect on Wednesday and
That's fair. That's fair.
Andrade can do it on Saturday.
To me, this was the most inspired Andrade. Like other than the pack matches for his entire AW career, unless I'm forgetting something. Like he seemed
Oh
inspired.
yeah, I would agree.
Andrade is a fantastic talent who like just seemed uninspired throughout his run because he wasn't really getting the proper booking I think he thought he deserved, some fans thought he deserved. Which of course is like it's a heavy roster, so like not everyone's going to be able to get pushed, but and I feel like if you want to get pushed, I think you have to go more the rushed route of like showing the world what you're
Yeah.
capable of, rather than like putting out uninspired work. I think if this is the Andrade we're going to see in the future, and if he continues up with this pace, I think he could climb up to the main event scene.
Oh wow. Well, I mean, he definitely has the talent if he gets rolling to go to the main event. But I don't know. AEW's got so many guys, but you never know really.
I don't think he's gonna go to the world title scene, but I think he can like get into a feud with the main event or something like that.
Do you think something? Well, I know it's technically not main event, but do you think Orange Cassidy, the international championship, do you think that's something in the cards for Andrade post he goes to Collision?
I could absolutely see that. I mean, we're talking about this match. It was a fantastic match, and Andrade would end up getting the victory in this one. Very good match. After the match, however, And the reason I'm bringing this up is because it kind of shows us what title Andrade is looking at.
Yeah.
He's attacked by the House of Black, by Brody King, after he tries to shake Buddy's hand. Very interesting move to make Andrade a babyface, by the way.
And what was music to my ears was the 9,000 plus fans in Chicago chanting for Roosh. Hopefully, this means that Roosh will have entry into the feud. Obviously, there's stuff that needs to be cleared up, like if he's his contract situation. But as long as he stays with AEW, I would be down for that trios match with Andrade, Roosh, and then I guess Realistico or Advance. Or I've even seen somebody online float around Andrade, Roosh, and Naito for the Forbidden Door, but probably I don't know about that one.
You think Team Andrade, Lij will get the win?
That's a good question. I would say no. I think they're staying strong with House of Black.
TK goes to Andrade saying you're not gonna win. That doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, actually, maybe not. I mean, the House of Black have held it for a long time. Or not a long time, but I don't know. I wouldn't do it if I was the Booker, but I guess they have I'd say 50-50 in terms of
That's wrestling at its
who would
best.
win.
Wrestling at its best, in my opinion, is 50-50. Like I mean, predictable wrestling can be good. Like for example, Hangman Page winning the world title. That was predictable, but that was one of the best stories AEW has ever done. But like as a fan, the most fun I have is like betting with my friends. No money involved. I'm not a gambler, but like betting with my friends about like who's gonna win, and like having like a dare on the line or something like that, and like just watching with intent. It's so fun. So 50-50 wrestling for me is the way to go.
Oh, it's the best when it's unpredictable. But probably my biggest brag. This is awful, going off track a little bit, but my biggest brag is I predicted that Triple H would beat Undertaker at the big Australia show in like 2018, which I was very proud of
I
that
don't remember
prediction.
that much, but I'm gonna take your word for it.
Yeah, no, it was one of those ones where they were doing like the big stadium shows in the different countries. It was a big Australian stadium, and they did a Triple H. I think they advertised like it was the last time or whatever.
Didn't
Some wacky thing.
Yeah, and Buddy and the Iconics were big stars in that. I do remember it slightly.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it wasn't the most notable show, but besides Buddy winning the cruiserweight title.
But anyways, overall, really good match. I'm really glad that Andrade and Buddy had this spot. And do you have any final thoughts on it?
No, it was a really good match. So.
After this match, we would have a Scorpio Sky video package. This video package really showcased Sky as like, and he is, but like an AEW OG. Like they were talking about his like tag title reign, being like the first ever tag champion. It was like showing off his accomplishments, and he has like a lot of accomplishments. How do you feel about Sky returning to AEW?
I mean, to be honest, I'm not a big fan of Scorpio Sky either. But I mean, I think it will be good. The video package I really liked actually. I thought Sky looked like a star in that. Just presentation wise, going forward, if that's the Sky that's going to be presented weekly on TV, I think he definitely has potential.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm a big Scorpio Sky fan, but I'm a Scorpio Sky fan. I would say. I think when AEW first started, he was really one of those guys who like it really felt he was gonna be one of AEW's big stars.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Didn't he? Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't he get a win over Jericho, like in a tag match or something like that? Like Jericho's first loss,
Yeah, he's the first guy to beat Jericho in AEW.
which was like a really big deal. So like it's really felt like he was gonna be a big star, and like he's had success, but he didn't reach the potential that I think a lot of people thought he would reach. Probably because the roster got like so bloated. And
Yeah, definitely.
no disrespect to Scorpio Sky, but I'd rather be seeing Adam Cole and Brian Danielson and CM Punk get TV time than Scorpio Sky. No disrespect. I think he's still a great talent. But now that there's another 2 hour show, these guys who like kind of got lost in the shuffle, like Scorpio Sky, get that opportunity, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, I with Sky, I would prefer him solo if they didn't bring back Dan Lambert. As much I do enjoy Dan Lambert's promo segments where he kind of just He gets into this ridiculous mode where he's just insulting the audience and all that. But I don't know. I think Sky. I think he'd be better off with just him solo.
Yeah, I think Christopher. Do you think Christopher Daniels and Sky should tag or no? That's just an idea I throw, but I don't think they should do it.
Yeah, at least not at the moment because it doesn't look like. I think they should keep with the Sky's presentation from last night. But that did cross my mind though that with SCU, if only there was a trios division, then they could have
Yeah,
Daniels, Sky, Kazarian. They're obviously one of the first trio they signed to AEW, and it's like obviously they're not.
yeah, because they're in
you know.
Impact now. So I
And
mean,
then plus, I don't even know if Kazarian can even team with Daniels anymore. I don't know how that
that's true.
how
That's
all
true.
that shit works.
That's very true. I forgot about that. So to move on now, we have Tony Nese cutting a promo. I was very confused when I saw Tony Nese on my screen. What about you?
Yeah. I was like, what's Nice doing here? But obviously he was the guy, the inaction guy that was gonna get squashed. But it could turn into a fun little routine, telling the fans to let's exercise right now. My first thought was, oh, imagine if all the fans just like do 10 laps around the arena, just stop the show. But that
Uh,
was fine. With Nice being there.
I think he did a good job for the most part. I
Yeah,
enjoyed it,
played his role well.
but he played his role well to reintroduce the great Miro. This was fantastic. I really enjoyed this. Like for it wasn't like fantastic in the like a must watch thing, like must watch the TV show, but you must watch this segment because I think this was a perfect presentation of Miro.
Yeah, Miro looked like a beast. Whatever. I don't know exactly where he'll go from here. We'll find out in the coming weeks on Collision.
If
But
it's
yeah, no, it's exactly how he should have been presented. He looked like a beast.
if it's not Rush, I think Miro dethrones OC.
Really. Maybe it depends if they go that direction. But I don't know. I I still think Swerve. I I don't know if they'll continue that, but yeah, I don't know. I'd be down for that though.
So something else I noticed about this match, Miro again looked very inspired, just like Andrade. I feel like CM Punk is starting a like like a revolution of his own of like the disgruntled talent. Like because like Miro, Andrade, Scorpio Sky, who's never like openly disgruntled, but like he was like misused, not misused, but just like not used at all. Thunder Rosa, like a lot of these
Yeah, she was
talent.
on first Collision. I don't know. I thought she was gonna be on tonight, but
I thought she was
or
going.
yet last night.
I thought she was either going to attack the Outcast or join the Outcast.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
sure she'll come along. There's probably maybe a health issue or something. Still, I don't know.
Speaking of the Outcasts, as my dog licks me, should we just jump right into that? Outcast versus Willow and Sky.
Uh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
What did you think of this match overall?
Um, it was a fine tag match. I mean, I'm not gonna say I was like super into it or super not into it. I'm a fan of Sky Blue. I thought, obviously she got a good reaction in her hometown. The and then Willow, I like Willow too. So I don't know. I thought it was a decent match. What do you think?
Willow reminds me of an NXT Bailey. I think that for both Willow and Sky Blue, and I really do enjoy this, AEW are going all in with them. Because, like, no pun intended. Um, because, like, with. My dog distracted me for a second. With Sky and Willow, they're new faces. They're very new faces, and I think AEW needed that for a while because it felt like there were new faces, but it felt like kind of a rotation after a point, where it was like Tony, Britt, Jamie, Saraya, Ruby. Like it felt like we were getting that for a bit too long. So like to take this like redirection into Sky Blue and Willow makes the division feel really fresh in my opinion. Like these two like faces who you haven't seen on other people's TV screens. They're new faces. They're fresh faces. They're homegrown faces. They're faces who I think are really over with the crowd. They're really improving. I think this is a good move. This match wasn't anything crazy, but it was pretty good. What did you think of the match overall?
Yeah, I thought it was decent to pretty good. Sky Blue in general, I am, I support her push. I mean, she's not all there yet, but I think she's definitely. I enjoy watching her. She has that, not like promo wise charisma, but she has that charisma in the ring where I just feel like even that the finish to the match, that kind of power, the kind of yeah, it's like a sunset flip power bomb, but it's going in like a sort of direction. I don't know exactly how you describe it. Maybe like a corkscrew. I don't know how exactly you describe it. Maybe like corkscrew sunset flip.
You know who she reminds me of in a way, in like the way you kind of mentioned, Liv Morgan, in the sense that
Yeah, a little bit.
in the sense that she doesn't have like charisma, like promo wise or any like that, but like she has this special way to connect with the crowd, just like Liv Morgan, which I think really makes her over. Like you really want to just root for her. She just seems like a likable person, you know?
Yeah, well, in general, her special connection to the crowd is why she's even in AEW. The first time, the reason she even got her contract was she wrestled on AEW Dark in Chicago, and the fans all just got behind her, and then she ended up getting into what was it, the women's battle royal at All Out, and then from there. So yeah, she does have a special way of connecting with the crowd.
I think by the time it's over, Sky Blue's career is going to be like one of the biggest in AEW history. I think she's going to become a really big star in the women's division. Like she's like homegrown. I think she's gonna become like a multi-time women's champion in the next decade or two. That's just like a prediction.
Yeah, yeah, people are starting to really rally behind her. Even I know a lot of people don't watch the Ring of Honor, but she faced Athena on Ring of Honor, and that was a really good title match, up there with the Tony Storm match on Dynamite. I'd say they're on equal level almost.
She really just has like momentum going for her right now, and it's like I feel like AEW should continue riding this wave. They don't have the best history with momentum. Like there's,
Yeah,
but I think they're doing really well with Sky Blue so far. So this gets a thumbs up for me.
yeah, thumbs up too. I guess the last comment though is the way they did things was weird. Like they had Sky Blue. She lost on Wednesday, but now she won the tag match on Saturday. So I don't know. Do you think they go back to Storm and Sky Blue? If anything, they probably should have did it in reverse, where Sky wins the tag match and then they do the world title match.
Um, I do agree with you there. I feel like, and I don't agree with this decision because like you lost the title match. I don't think you should get a rematch, but I think maybe AEW might have her beat Ruby in a singles match,
Yeah,
and if she's cleared, maybe get like a big win over Soraya because I don't know why she's absent right now, and then
I
go
mean,
to Tony. So, if she gets wins over uh Ruby and Soraya, hopefully Soraya comes back soon. At first, she's out for undisclosed reasons, so wishing Soraya well. Uh, I think it could work. I think it could work if you get like two, no, three big wins like in a row. I think you can build yourself back up to that position. What about you?
um, I mean, yeah, maybe they'll do the Storm and Blue again, but I think ultimately they probably want to do a big multi woman match, whether it's Survivor Series style, or I think Soraya wants to do Blood and Guts. So some type of the Outcast versus the AEW crew in a some sort of big blow off match.
Here's another idea. Do you think they're stalling until Jamie Hayters comes back to build up to an all-in match?
Um, I haven't thought about that. Yeah, maybe they are. Cool. Because I remember in the video packages and whatever the hype videos where they were saying that Jamie Hayter, her like they mentioned Jamie Hayter Wembley if you wanted to defend the title on that stage or like whatever. So yeah, maybe if she's healthy then.
I think
But
that's
I
a
don't know.
I think that's a very strong possibility. I think Tony versus Jamie. I think Jamie Hayter winning the title back would be massive, like a massive reaction. I think she'd get like a huge reaction, like one of the biggest reactions in AEW history, if not the biggest. Like a UK-born, loved babyface winning a title with like 80, 90,000 people in the crowd, something like that. I think that would be very exciting. Even though I think I would hurt the Outcast quite a bit, but it's a moment. It's a moment's company after all. Not a moment's company.
Yeah,
It's a
maybe.
moment's business.
Well, I mean, I would even be down if that opened the show because the Tony Storm Jamie Hayter match from Full Gear. I think that's one of, if not the best AEW women's match in the history of the company.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential with the women's division for the first time in a while. I'm excited for the future of it. You have Thunder Rosa, you have the potential of Jamie Hayter versus Tony, you have these names getting built up like Sky Blue and Willow. I think that while the Outcasts get like a lot of negative reactions online, they've really helped stabilize the women's division. They've
Yeah,
been real
definitely.
they've been really good for the women's division in my eyes.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know about the. I don't know where I stand on the whole spray can thingy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes it's a bit unnecessary. Well, I mean, it's been fun though, seeing it get thrown in the crowd, but I don't think it exactly draws the heat that it desires when you just spray
Especially
paint somebody.
especially when Sky Blue's mother like completely no-sold it last week. Like she got hit with the spray paint, and then you see her like 2 minutes later completely fine, just watching the match like nothing happened.
Yeah,
It's like the end of Yo was decades ago, guys. Chill. You have like the Outcast doing the spray paint. You had Trey Miguel doing the spray paint. Like just chill with this spray paint, Jesus. But anyways, we move on to we the next big thing was the Acclaimed promo, but I really want to talk about Jeff Jarrett calling out Mark Briscoe for a match in a I forgot the name. I'm gonna read it down on my notes. A
Oh, wait, it's
concession
a
stand brawl.
concession stand brawl, right?
Yeah, I don't know the history of the concession stand brawl.
No, you mean me neither. I know that Jarrett's family, his promotion was the first one to do that. I mean, if I had to guess, it's probably going to be a fun, chaotic brawl.
Like all around the arena because it's just concession stands, I assume.
Yeah, something like that. Just something really wacky.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I want to bring it up because like I think Jeff Jarrett like he gets a lot of hate and like sometimes deserved. I'm like 80% sure that Karen Jarrett's Aubrey Edwards idea was his, and I hated that. That was
Yeah,
that was not the AEW I love. That was like
yeah. No, I don't.
that was
I don't
like
know why they do that.
maybe Vince Russo like snuck his way backstage or something, put on like a mask. But like I think this will be exciting. I think this will be probably the best match Mark Briscoe has had in his AEW career so far. Like AEW, not like Ring of Honor.
Oh yeah, Ring of Honor. I was about to say he's got the even in the Tony Khan Ring of Honor era, he's got the brilliant trilogy with FTR, and then
No, no, no.
even the match with Samoa Joe at the Supercard.
Ring of Honor to me like Mark Briscoe and Ring of Honor and Mark Briscoe and AEW are like two separate entities. Like the way he's presented, like in like Ring of Honor, he is the shit. You don't fuck with Mark Briscoe.
Right.
But like in AEW, he's almost like a comedy character, which I think AEW has potential to like really not go all the way, but like really bring him up to the upper mid cards, maybe like lower main events after what happened to his brother. Like
Yeah,
like kind of
just the whole Lethal crew in general. I just think it's very weird because I do like Jay Lethal. I think he's very good,
yeah.
but it's like Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, Satnam Singh, Jeff Jarrett. Like I feel like these guys would never hang out at all. It's a very very strange pairing.
Yeah, like Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt and Satnam Singh worked because Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt are friends in real life, and like everybody knows that. Satnam Singh, he's Indian. Like I kind of get it. Like for some reason, wrestling companies always put Indian people together in factions, and
And then you just got Jeff Jarrett.
yeah, he's just there chilling with his wife, like good old Team TNA. But just like skimming over that because it was a big part of the show. Next up, we have the Acclaimed promo. This was this really just felt like a thing to pop the crowd, in my opinion.
Yeah, I didn't personally care for it. I mean, I didn't hate it. It seems like one of those things that was like just there to be there. And like if this wasn't on TV, if this was just for the live crowd, it's fine. But
Yeah.
it, to me at least, I like the Acclaimed, but I felt this was unnecessary.
I feel like he could have given this TV time to like something else. But at the same time, it's Chicago. They claim they're super over in Chicago. Like, to me, the more TV time you can like fit in with the acclaimed is it's better because they're a really popular act. I don't want them to not be on TV. My only real criticism is that like it doesn't really progress anything.
Yeah, no, it felt like it was there to be there, but basically just the Acclaim. They're going to be on Collision and Dynamite, and they're the one established trio. They got to be. I feel like in general, my hope for Collision is just they establish more structure in the divisions, like uh, which teams are in the tag division, which are in the trios, and not have fluctuating situations.
Yeah, they also need to like maybe look at moving more of those teams back to the tag division because that tag division really needs help in my eyes. But
Yeah, no, it's tricky now because now you got the trios, and then you also got the tag, and then you also have the ROH 6 man, and then the ROH tag, where you could say maybe if the Lucha Bros were, you know, fighting FTR instead, or having a team like the Kingdom feud with FTR, which would be amazing.
why aren't they getting
But
them on TV?
yeah, no, they definitely have the teams to do it, but I think yeah, I do agree that the tag team division needs more because the AEW tag division, if you look back, has such a high bar, and I feel like they've been slowly slipping away from it a little bit.
Yeah, they reached a peak. I think like was this beginning of this year or was that like no like they reached the peak not beginning of this year but like around the time Jeff Hardy came in because you had the
Yeah,
Hardys, you had Red Dragon, you had the Young Bucks, you had Jurassic Express, you had FTR. It was
Lucha Brothers too.
Lucha Brothers. It was an incredible tag division. I feel like it's you lost Red Dragon because Bobby Fish like had a meltdown. You lost. I mean, you have the Hardys, but they do not have any momentum right now. I feel like people. I'm still a Hardys fan, but that I am like in the minority. A lot of people do not want to see the Hardys anymore. Like they've lost that. Like
Yeah, the Hardys are in a tough position on how to get back that momentum somehow.
yeah, I mean like the Young Bucks are like doing trio stuff and faction stuff now, so they're not really doing stuff in the tag division. The Lucha Bros, I mean, they're still there. I think they can easily move them into a program with FTR, like any day they wanted. But now they're like moving to more AEW created teams. Like not makeshift isn't the right term. There's like teams that didn't exist before AEW, like Bullet Club Gold. You know?
Yeah, like Jeff Jarrett, Jarrett and Lethal, Bullet Club Gold. I think the hope is when Mark Davis is healthy that they do the FTR Aussie Open feud on TV. I think maybe that was the direction maybe they were heading. Maybe they're in just a weird spot now. I don't know.
Speaking of FTR, months and months of dreaming came true for them. After begging and pleading Tony Khan, CM Punk has returned. They looked so happy.
Oh yeah, no, I saw that picture of online right before Punk was about to say it's clobbering time. Just that look on their face.
Yeah, I mean, what did you think of this match overall? For anyone who didn't
So
watch,
the first thing I would say about this match is shout out to Juice Robinson, who worked really hard. I thought he was one of the MVPs of the match, and obviously it's great to see. Big opportunity for Juice to be in the main event of Collision, even though obviously he took the fall. But yeah, no, I thought it was a really good match. Uh, I was surprised at the length though. They usually don't start the main event that early.
for anyone who didn't watch, the match I'm referring to, just in case you didn't see the graphic or anything like this, is like your first experience. You just heard of Collision. It's CMFTR, CM Punk and FTR versus Jay White, Juice Robinson, Rock Hard Juice Robinson. I have to elaborate, and Samoa Joe. Cinema. This match, like it wasn't like peak professional wrestling in terms of like athleticism or anything like that. But if you're a 2000 Ring of Honor fan, your heart when CM Punk and Samoa Joe are in the same ring, Jesus Christ, that
That
was
was the highlight of the match.
absolutely. They have to be moving into a program between them, right?
Yeah, I would think so. Unless I guess unless they're doing the MGF thing, sooner than expected. But yeah, no, I would hope so that they do Joe and Punk.
Yeah, I think a lot of this match was really good, I would say, really emotional, and there's a lot of potential to come out of it. You have CM Punk and Jay White kind of like building up, I think, building up experience for a future program. I think a CM Punk Jay White program would be one of the biggest AEW could do if they managed to bring, not now, but like months down the line, if they managed to continue to build up Jay White like they're doing. Because
Yeah, no, I think a Jay White CM Punk pay per view match would just it'd be the masterclass.
I think CM Punk Samoa Joe, that's the perfect fit to bring him back in. Like if you want fans to like seeing CM Punk, put him in the ring with Samoa Joe. If CM Punk means more Samoa Joe, I will take CM Punk. And that's coming from a Punk fan, but even if I didn't like Punk, I would still take CM Punk if I got more Samoa Joe. Who does not like Samoa Joe?
Oh yeah, no, that was one of the obviously one of the highlights of this match. One of the highlights, in my opinion, of all of Collision was just seeing Samoa Joe. But he's amazing.
I've said this for a while. I think that it's a crime that Samoa Joe isn't held to the same regards as AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, like these big 2000s TNA Ring of Honor guys. I think he I think he just gets wrestling. I think he has the aura. I think he's one of the best wrestlers in North America. Although like age of
Oh, and
course,
even promo wise too.
promo wise he's fantastic. He's like the perfect wrestler. The only like thing holding him back is like being a bit injury prone.
Yeah, yeah, but and then also he's somewhat older, but I mean he's still around. Like I think he's still around the same age of like Punk and those people.
I think Tony Khan can make the wrestling gods proud, make the wrestling gods smile, and fix the injustices of TNA and WWE and make Samoa Joe a top guy. Finally. I mean, he's had his
That would be great.
moments. He's had his moments, but I really feel like both companies could have pushed him more, both TNA and WWE. And I think that AEW are like now experimenting with Samoa Joe reaching that upper echelons of their cards.
So Joe, you think he moves out of Ring of Honor? Think he loses the TV title soon?
I think I think he could do double duty, but I think there's a very good chance he moves out of Ring of Honor because I think they're kind of leveling him up to like being one of AEW's top guys at least for the foreseeable future, at least during this Punk program. Like he was kind of
Yeah,
like
no, I think probably I thought Mark Briscoe was going to win the TV title at what's it called, the Supercard of Honor. So they probably would just go back to that Death Before Dishonor.
yeah, absolutely. I mean to be fair, Claudio is in the A storyline of AEW right now, and he's still doing Ring of Honor stuff, so Samoa Joe could double duty.
Yeah, especially since they tape most weeks. But I think it's tricky though because I'm not sure. But I think did they tape Ring of Honor before the Collision? I think they might be trying to do that,
They did it
where
this
they might
week.
not. Yeah, so I don't know if that's a weekly thing, but if that's a weekly thing, then Joe probably lose the title because then you don't want to have him out, wrestling or like cutting a promo in front of the crowd on Ring of Honor, and then he comes back out. I mean, you could do it. They've done it with like Ruby on Dynamite and Rampage on the same night, but it's not ideal.
Yeah. I mean, we're at the end of the card. What did you think of Collision overall? The first episode. Do you think that this show reached your expectations? Do you think that it's on the level of Dynamite?
Yeah, I think it was on the level of Dynamite. I didn't like it more than Dynamite. I thought, because Dynamite I thought was an amazing show, but I think it was an overall positive. It had a different tone. The presentation was tremendous, just in terms of the graphics and the everything with the commentators
I
different.
love the commentary team.
Not Nigel McGuinness. He's just a wonder, man. I was when he was talking about Christian Cage being like a caring person. I love that. I love that type of stuff. Bobby Heenan's one of my favorite commentators who did a lot of that ridiculous ridiculous statements that you're just like, Christian Cage is not a caring person.
Imagine Nigel McGuinness calling Bryan Danielson matches and just like taking shots.
Oh, he does. He actually he does that on Ring of Honor all the time. Whenever Danielson or Ian's talking about AEW or whatever, Danielson's name get mentioned. He always calls Danielson a clam digger.
Okay. Personally, I thought this collision was incredible. Like, just like it wasn't like this like great matches, great stuff thing, but it was like great moments. You know, like there was only like one or two like fantastic matches, but when it comes to moments, the show was full of them. It was both bad moments and good moments because you had Luchasaurus winning, which was a moment. You had CM Punk returning both in the ring and promo, and potentially turning heel. I'm not sure yet. You had the returns of the likes of Miro and Andrade. This was a show with a lot of big moments. It had a massive feel. It felt important. I was a big fan. Like I was like the amount of times I like gasped or like audibly started speaking to myself while watching this show, like saying like, "Oh my god, I can't believe this," you know. I think it was a great first introduction, and if Collision continues
Yeah,
to be
set the
like this,
tone for sure.
Collision won't be able to keep up the standard because this standard was very much a, you know, these are the faces we're establishing, and now you know the faces they established, so it won't be like as huge. But like if they manage to keep up this pace of like the pace they're going at right now, I think it can still be like a very solid program. And I think this is more like traditional wrestling, if that makes sense. Like it just felt like a
No,
very
yeah, I can see it.
which
I can see
has
what you're saying. It was stylistically different, I would say, than Dynamite.
like it being traditional wrestling has its positives and its like negatives because at one point, like on one side, it's positive because I think traditional wrestling can be very good. The negative side is it gets the wrong crowd, aka Jim Cornette fans.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's a story for another day. I think overall a very good episode. What would you rate it out of 10?
Wait, what?
What would you rate it out of 10?
Out of 10, I'm not as high on the show as other. I would give it an 8.
I
Good show though.
I was gonna give it an 8, but if you're going an 8 and you weren't as high as others, I have to go a bit more high and go like 9.5 because I was very high on this show. So if our standards are like that, I'm going 9.5. Wasn't the perfect
Yeah,
show?
I mean, my one. Well, I guess one criticism I would have of the show is they probably should have set up stuff for next week
Absolutely.
in terms of like more angles or in like even just to keep people intrigued for next week. Like what is Miro going to be doing after this? Is he going to be? I think they probably a missed opportunity for
I
not
agree.
to someone like Scorpio Sky or Miro or someone like that. What are they going to do next week? They probably in terms of Collision, we don't really know what's going to happen next week.
So to wrap things up, I've been Cosk. You can find me on Twitter at Cosk151. I've been joined by my good friend John. Um, you can find him on this podcast, I guess. He's anonymous.
And no, you can drop my Twitter. Why True Wrestling? I don't tweet. If you see my tweets, you'll see older tweets of me commenting on Dynamite, or if you scroll down Raw or what 2018 Raw. Like that's how I don't tweet. I mainly just reply. But yeah, if you want to find me on Twitter, Why True Wrestling.
Okay, so he is not anonymous. He has come out of his shell. Um, if you want to find him, you can find him at Fight 2 Wrestling. This has been the Collision Review. Like and subscribe for more.